You listening, motherfucker? When you first learn a skill, you focus on the basics. How to use your camera, how to shoot a basketball, how to throw a punch. You know what I mean? You then start slowly building up those skills so you're to like a novice level. You're decent. They're pretty alright with being run of the mill, but what I've learned is if you want to be someone in anything, you've got to be yourself. I'm 20 years old. I've been shooting for about 6 years now. I work with brands like JD Sports, Swatch, Uniqlo. Here's some credentials. These are kind of old photos as well. I took this in 2018. I love this one. Type shit. Maybe I'll pop up something as abstract as developing a photography style is hard. You're not ever going to really be able to decide when you're there, when you've made it. You're going to weave in and out of different styles until something sticks. That's alright, that's kind of part of it. But I want to give you ways, actionable steps you can take to find your style. What I want to focus on is 1, stay consistent. 2, stay curious. 3, study where your inspirations came from. The first and most obvious step is to stay consistent. I started shooting when I was 14, and from about 14 to 18, I was only really shooting like twice a year. Stylistically, same shit. For the past about 2 years or so, I'm 20 now, I've been trying to make it a point to shoot more often. From shooting more often, you're able to see the micro adjustments from shoot to shoot. Maybe I shot this one a little bit better, different angles, different movement, different concept. Maybe I edited a little bit different, worked with a different stylist. There's so many different things you can do to develop your photography style if you just keep staying consistent. Like anything else in life, photography is about repetitions. By putting yourself in the same situation over and over and over and over again, you're gonna start learning the foundations of what makes you you. But what I've really understood is having a deeper understanding of the basics lets you break them. You need to first develop the basics before you even start trying to look at your creative style. If you don't know how to use your camera, fucking learn how to use your camera first. If you don't know how composition works, learn how composition works. If you don't know how to edit, learn how to edit. Basic shit. And consistency means more opportunities for growth. Instead of shooting once a month, you got 4 times the opportunity to grow, find something new. It's fucking simple math, easy to do. Just gotta go do it. Motherfuckers are lazy. I'm lazy. Number 2, which is probably the most important thing for me, was stay curious. Without a doubt, the most helpful question that I ever asked myself, what is the most interesting thing I can do here? So if I'm on set with a model, what's the most interesting pose I can do? If I'm editing, what's the most interesting colors I can do? What's the most interesting masking I can do? And in my opinion, the most important thing in any portrait, any fashion, and any photography, whatever, is the pre-planning stage. What's the most interesting concept I can do, and how can I bring this to life? If you keep asking yourself those types of questions, you're focusing on the next step. A lot of photographers are very results focused, but they get stuck in this analysis paralysis where they don't know what the next step is. So many photographers get stuck on this analysis paralysis, especially when they're trying to come up with a creative concept. I won't get into that too much in this video. It's probably a whole video within itself. But if you're watching this and you want to see that, fucking, I don't know, comment or whatever you guys do for that. What this question also does that I find is it forces you to rely on instinct, forces you to think on the fly. When you're on a shoot with someone and you ask, what's the most interesting thing I can do here? You have to rely on yourself. You don't have to think about what your stylist is gonna say. You can't think about what your makeup artist is gonna say. You're in that moment. You're asking yourself that question, and therefore you have to figure it out. You know, taking the moment to even really think within a shoot or any creative endeavor that you're gonna do. It's gonna help you 10 times over. Number 3, and probably my most favorite one, is study where your inspirations came from. And what that is what excited you as a kid. What shows did you watch? What made you like that show? What colors did you like? Fucking music did you listen to? Because on average, kids are more creative than adults. They live instinctively, they do whatever they want without boundaries because they don't know any boundaries. But as an adult, you start putting up these walls to yourself. For me, as a kid growing up in the early 2000s, I love Power Rangers. Love the bright colors, I love the explosions, fucking everything about it. I'd go to my grandparents' house every day after school and sit there for hours just watching Power Rangers until my parents picked me up. And my favorite Power Ranger was the Green Ranger. And I don't know what it was. He was just different. He was kind of aside a bit. Even to today, green is my favorite goddamn color. I can spend hours editing green, just sitting down, and you can ask anyone that's seen me edit. Like, I'll ask him to compare greens for me. That type of stuff excites me. The small details excite me. And the more you're able to understand what excited you as a kid can inform what you want to create as an adult. And I think there's something so emotional within that, connecting to this younger version of yourself who thinks freely, thinks instinctively, and just makes. As adults and as grown-ups, think too much. You start having these boundaries, having these walls, and maybe being a bit too comfortable with the way you do things. If you're able to find what excites you as a kid, and that little piece of childhood that you still hold within yourself, you're gonna create crazy stuff. A lot of people in the fashion world even say they buy clothes now that they wanted to buy as a kid, because there's still that sense of excitement in it, and you can still make it fresh and new within this age. And if you truly understand what excites you as a creative, you can maybe then start living freely like a child. First video done, motherfucker. Like, subscribe, all that shit. Check in whenever I make the next shit. Bye, motherfuckers.